let's say you sit. Let's say you sit in a train and you're going 8 hours in one direction, and the neighbor, he's asking you, okay, listen, where do you go to? And you say, I don't know. Yeah, this is how I always compare. It's like if you go to work every day and you work 8 hours and you don't invest this money what you're earning, this is like you don't know in which direction you go. And it's always, like Alicia said, it's always always important to know where to invest. Yeah, we mentioned some investments before, and I always compare all investments with three different points. The first point is liquidity. Like, is the money which you invest, is it accessible in the next days? Yeah, this is the first point. The second point is security. Like, how secure is the investment if something happens? If we have a crisis, if we have if a bank is corrupt or whatever, if it's bankrupt or whatever. So it's always interesting to check this. How high is the security of this investment, and also the profit? Yeah, how high is the profit? How much do we get? How is the ROI, the return of investment, of this investment, of this product?
And taxes, like a big thing in Germany, like taxes, exactly, because we're always looking, if we invest money, how we can also save tax. And there are two ways to save taxes. One, this is important that we like make a difference. Some investment tools give you tax returns, and some investment tools, they have like tax profit once you get paid out. It's also important, like to mention when we talk about taxes.
So these points, like I mentioned, or I wrote those points into this tabelle. It's always interesting to see. Okay, I mean, the perfect product would be somewhere here. Yeah, the perfect product where you have the maximum security and the maximum profit, the maximum liquidity. But as we know, we have different investments in Germany. We mentioned before, and I would write it down, like with it's a stock market. If it's ETF, Morgan funds, or shares or whatever, it's the stock market. Yeah, and then we mentioned already, we have some insurances, like pension plan, life insurance. A lot of people, they invest in life insurances, pension plans, and also we talked about gold and real estates. I think this is how we could categorize all the main investments which we have in Germany. So let's see. Pardon?
I said exactly. Just let's categorize.
So let's see about those points, those 4 points. Liquidity. If we invest in the stock market, we all know we can sell it tomorrow. Yeah, we can sell if you have a loss, or if you have a win, and you can sell it. Yeah, so we are for 100%. It's liquid. Like the liquidity is very high. Okay.
Then on safety, because there's a point that we didn't like agree on, like safety.
Is the stock market safe? I mean, we all know we had this crisis when COVID started. The stock market went down. I would say it's safe, but it's safe up to specific points, and then it's not very safe. Like you cannot control this market. It's not in your hands. Like it's safe especially when we talk about in insurances and ETFs or whatever. We have those 100,000 euros of safety. Yeah, but let's take a minimum half of the point.
Okay. Yeah? It depends if you do like ETF or like.
Okay, then it's more safe for sure.
Yeah.
Do we have a profit? Yes, we have a profit. If it's 5 or 6 or 7 or 10%, we always have a profit with like an average for sure. If we think about 10 years, if we think about 5 years, we always have a profit. And when it comes to taxes, like in stock or like in a share, you always have to pay 25% for the profit which you do, like which you made with this share. So the tax here we have like an let's say a loss, because you have to pay 25% to the government. If we talk about insurances, Alicia, do you know, like, is the liquidity very high with insurances?
We can, there's like so many insurance, we talk about life insurance and pension insurance. So life insurances, for example, I would say they're like risk life insurance. I would say liquidity is none, and pension plans can be liquid. So I would give it half a point, but the most return of investment you have if you let the money until 62 minimum. So I would like give them, I would say no to no, like there you can be liquid, but it's the best for the client if you don't touch it. So I will give it a no.
I know that I'm with you, because I mean, even if you want to even if you want to get the money back, you have to write them a letter, and then you get this money after 2, 3, 4, 6 weeks. It depends on which insurance. Yeah, so exactly. I would say no for sure.
Exactly.
What's about safety? What's about security? What's about safety?
So safety, yes, in Germany, like safety, yes, it's tied to the, let's say, to the stock market, but still we have like an insurance in Germany that protects the money in case, for example, the companies go bankrupt. This is very important. So here I would say it's a security, but maybe we take like a mini point out, because for those who are investing with a life insurance or a pension plan in the stock market, there's also like ups and downs. So it's important that you have like a strong financial portfolio and you use, for example, ETFs. Okay. And it makes then safety. So I would give it a yes on safety, definitely.
Yes. Yes. What's about profit?
Profit, yes, over the long term.
Profit. What's about taxes? Like, do we have a tax fee, a benefit? Is it tax deductible?
Yes, it's tax. So life insurance are tax deductible.
Perfect. What's about gold? I mean, everybody of you can write your opinion into the chat, but Alicia, like, what do you know about gold? What do you know about, is gold liquid? What do we think?
Yes, let's say yes and no. Like I have good, I sold something already, like, but it was more like a jewelry, so it was like pretty fast. So I will give it a yes from my side, from my experience. People tend to say differently, but what do you think?
For sure. I mean, we are talking about gold. I can tell you my own story. It was 4 years ago. I mean, it was 4 years ago. I needed some, a little bit more money because I wanted to do an investment. I had some gold. I did some investments in the past in gold, and you can sell it like in 5 minutes, or you can sell it in 5 days. Yeah, it's up to you. Where do you go to? You can go to an there's shops, for example, I know in Stuttgart, you can go there and you can sell it like you go to a bank. Yeah, you bring your gold and then you sell it. You get cash. Yeah? That's how it goes. For sure, it's liquid. Safety, security, very, very high. We are talking about gold. It's the oldest product which we have, the oldest investment product in the world. Yeah, it's actually the whole financial system is based on gold, on the product of gold. What's about profit? Do we do profit with gold? What do you think?
I mean, we can ask people, because I'm very curious to think. From my point of view, I think that you exchange. For me, when I invest in gold, or I give money away for gold, in my point of view, I'm making an exchange. So I'm changing money, what is losing in value, like my currency right now, for another currency that I could, for example, just leave. I will give a couple of examples how you can invest in gold and how it looks like when you have gold home. So you have an idea what you could do with this gold. You could just put it in your pocket and leave. So for me, it's more like an exchange about materials rather than like a investment, like an ETF. But it's still a profit. It doesn't go down.
Actually, if you invest in gold, you're not allowed to think about, okay, how much profit will we do? It's not something to do profit with. It's not a product where you say, okay, listen, now I will do 10%. It's just to cover the inflation rate. Actually, this is why you should invest in gold. A few points about gold, very interesting. Do you know? Everybody can answer this. What do you think? What if we would melt all the gold of the whole world together and to a cube? Yeah. What do you think? What would be the size of this cube? What would be the number of meters we have for one side? What do you think? Maybe this is something I really would like to know from the people who would join the webinar. What do you think? Roundabout. 1,000 cube meters, okay? 1,000 meter. This is a question I got, let's say 6 years ago when I started to think about investments. It was very interesting. I guess I said back then around about 500 meters or 700 meters, something like that. I mean, we have a lot of gold. This is what we think. Yeah? Actually, gold is not. Yeah, you cannot plant gold. You cannot. It's not growing on trees or something. It's limited. Yeah, very interesting. If you would melt all the gold together into one cube, one side would have 20 meters. Only 20 meters. That's crazy. This cube would fit under the. I don't know if I say this right in English. Under the Eiffel Tower of Paris. So those 20 meters times 20 times 20, it's how much is it? I should, yeah, I didn't calculate how much cube meter these are, but 20 meters. This is what the cube would have.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about gold, I have a very interesting comparing with gold. What do we think? What was the gold price 1900, in the year of 1900? What do you think? What was the gold price? When we talk about gold price, we always have to know gold is always the sizes of gold are 1 gram, 5 gram, 10 grams, or like the famous size is 1 ounce. 1 ounce is 31.1 gram. This is the ounce, 1 ounce of gold. What do you think? What was the gold price back then, 123 years ago? Does anybody have a clue? 10 euros per ounce. Alicia, what do you think? How much was an ounce back then?
The same as today.
The same as today. Okay.
Yeah.
And you should never invest in gold. $20.
Crazy. No, but same as today, it doesn't lose in value.
Yeah, that's
like the money.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
What do you think? What was the salary back then, 1900? Alicia, do you have a clue?
Yeah, like the average, like brutto salary.
No, let's say netto salary.
Netto per month or per year?
In 1 month.
1 month, I would say $400.
$20.
No.
$1 a day. Sure. $1 a working day. 20 working days. We say, yeah, around about $20 in 1 month. The interesting question is, how much is the gold price today? 1 ounce. We are talking about the same size. We are talking about 31.1 gram. The gram didn't change, but the years changed. 2,000 euros. I just got the update 2-3 hours ago. It costs in Germany right now. You can buy it for 1,900 euros for 1 ounce. 1,900 euros. What is the average salary you get in Germany? Round about the average. We are not talking about yeah. Let's say the question, like, how much is the average salary right now? Do you have a clue about this?
2,000 per month, I would say.
The average 1,900 euros netto. If it's 2,000 or 1,900, it's not a big difference. But what I want to say is the years changed, okay? It's 123 years later. The price changed crazy. But what did not change is the gram at 31.1 gram. So why do we not invest in this old product in kilogram or in gram when all of us we know this will not change in the future, but the value of those grams connected with the currency, this will change. This is a very important question, and what I always see when I talk to young people, nobody knows or nobody thinks about to invest in gold because it's an old product. Our grandfathers, grandmothers, they invested in gold, and we have a lot of benefits with gold. It's not just about the value. It's not just about that the value increases. It's all about, like, it's accessible. It's flexible. You can take it with you. You can sell it very fast. And
it's anonymous. I mean, this is a big part also that's anonymous. If you have or you're a wealthy person or you want to become wealthy and you have a certain amount of money, gold in your house, you can pass it to other people. And
that's correct. I always compare it when I talk to my clients. I always compare it with, I mean, maybe some of you have a kid and you get money in Germany for a kid. Yeah, it's most of the parents in Germany, they get around about 250 euros in a month. And I talked a lot to parents in the last years which wanted to invest in some. Yeah, they wanted to save the money for their kid because they said, like, listen, I want to give him some money. I want to give him some euros when he's 18. And they asked me, like, Samuel, what would you do if you would have kids, and would you invest with like the 250 euros we get? And I can show you a short calculation about this. Let's say you invest or you save 250 euros for your kid because you want to give him something with the age of 18. 215 times 12 months and times 18 years. Let's calculate how much you would save during those 18 years. This would be 54,000 euros. So assume after 18 years, your kid on his birthday, you give him access to the bank account and you say, listen, now here are the 54,000. You can do with whatever you would like, whatever you want to do with this 54,000. And imagine or assume he wants to buy something with those 54,000. It's very important to not always just to calculate how much you save during the time, but what will the 54,000, how much is the value in 18 years? And I did a calculation, and you can see here with only 2% of inflation, and I mean everybody of us, we know the inflation is much higher. We're at 6, 7, 8% right now. The inflation rate went down a little bit, but we have round about like minimum 2% every year. So let's calculate if you invest or if you save money on a bank account, typical bank account, and 54,000 in 18 years would have a value or would have how should I say this? Yeah, you can buy products, or you can buy a car with a value of 37,808 euros. So your money loses all the time because you just invest or you just save it on a bank account. So you lose minimum 17,000 euros, minimum, with only 2%. So now let's see, with the same numbers, if you would invest in gold, and you would just, I mean, there's, as Alicia said, there are different ways how to invest in gold. Some clients, they say, Samuel, listen, I have 10, 15, I have 20K in my bank account. I want to invest, and I always suggest to buy some coins, or they can buy some, how do you say, Barren.
Can you hold your thought? Because I just shared something in the chat for you all. Because I am a client of mine recently invested in gold, and you can open the image and save it. So she did it like, guess how much this is, Samuel? You know, it's 500 gram.
500 gram, it's right now around about 32,000, something like that.
Yeah. 20, it was 29 at the time, 29, let's say 30,000. So that's like, she was like surprised how small this was, you know, like how compact, not small, like compact. So this is 500 grams. And if you, like, someone will explain a little bit more how to invest, you can like invest like in coins or in Barren. And the benefit if you invest like in smaller pieces is that you can sell it. For example, for her was important that she had right now 30,000, but maybe tomorrow she needs money. So she asked me, hey, is there a way like to split it? And then we make like a 50-50. So in case she needs money, she can like sell the 250, what will bring her like, you know, 15,000 euros. Or also if she wants to like buy real estate in the future, she can like go to the bank, and then the bank will, I think it's 80%. Does the bank calculate 80% as a value for the gold?
It's always like 70 to 80%. If you own gold, if you have gold, and you show this to the bank, and you want to purchase something, some let's say in real estate, in the best case, real estate for investment, yeah, then the bank always calculates 70 to 80% of this current market price. They calculate it as a safety or as a security for the next investment.
You could sell it. You could give it back to, for example, where you invested it. In this case, we looked for like a family-owned brokerage and she decided to not keep the gold there. It's also an extra service that you can have. She wanted to have it home and bought also like a small safe. This is how I recommend to do. And then she can go to the bank and put a loan against it, get 80% of the value, or she can sell it in the market, in the free market, or go back to the broker and sell it back. So it's like, these are the options that she has.
That's correct. Like you can always invest in different sizes of gold, like 1 gram, 5 gram, and as Alicia said, it's always most of the brokers or most of the companies where you can buy gold, you can always choose. Most of them, I would say, you can choose. Assume you invested and you saved up to 50 grand, for example. Then you can order this gold to your home. You can put it in your safe or wherever. I sleep under my gold is under my pillow, but and then you can sleep better. But some clients, they say, listen, I want just to keep it in the storage at this company. It costs very low money, like it's around about 0.3% of the value of the portfolio.
One question, Daniel made a good point. Maybe I was like explain myself like not very good. So she doesn't need to sell it at the bank, but the bank will see it as a credit. For example, if you want to buy a real estate and you don't have like a cash flow or capital, you can go to the bank and say, hey, I'm the owner of like 500-gram gold. And then the bank sees 80% of this 500-gram, in this case, like 30,000 as Eigenkapital. So you can use it to play. Yeah. And about virtual gold and physical gold from my point of view are two different things, because I'm not sure about the tax advantages. And of course, digital gold can also disappear. Let's say worst case scenario, people, tomorrow the system, there's a breakdown in the system and all our ETF accounts, stock market accounts get closed. Who knows? Because at the end, it's just virtual numbers. As crazy it looks. I'm talking now like crazy stuff, but you have your physical gold and this can never be harmed. So this is for me the main difference about like virtual gold and like touchable gold, if that makes sense. But yes, it's also a way to do virtual gold. Yeah, and you can do virtual gold starting with 25 euros, but it's good if you have a broker account. So it's also an easy way to enter the gold game. With a saving plan, you can start with 50 euros. So it's not such a big difference. So people start investing and making saving plans with 50 euros.
Yeah, it's always, as I said before, it's always up to you. Yeah, it's if you have money on a bank account and you say like, listen, Licia, Samuel, I want to invest 10, 15, 20K, 5K, 1000K, and then you can invest. You can do a one-time investment, or you do like you sign a saving plan where you invest every month the same money, like 250, and the company buys for the current market price the grams for you, and they keep it until 50 grams are fulfilled, and then they send it to your home, or you can store this at the company. So there are different ways, but this would be way too much to explain. This is what we always do in individual consultation, where I always explain this in detail. But assume you invest 250 euros in a month in gold, and we only have 2%. By the way, in the last years we had around about 4 to 5% ROI, or ROI, or where the value increased in the last I think 20, 30, or maybe more years with gold. So I mean, back then we had in 1900 it cost $20 a month ounce. Right now it costs 1,900. So it increases at least with the inflation rate we have. There's some question: how much does it usually cost if I want to store my gold in a safe at a bank or some other place for more? Actually, parts, if you invest in gold and you and if you get it from a company like this, the storage fee costs 0.3 to 0.48% of the value of your portfolio. Let's assume, or let's say you have 10, like your gold has a value of 10,000 euros. Yeah, this would cost in 1 year 0.48. It's the highest. It would cost 48 euros a year. Yeah. If you want to go, like if you want to store this at your bank, go and ask your bank and ask how much this costs. I think it depends on which bank and which location. But the best way is to store it at the company, and it's an official storage. You can and it's cheap. It's cheap. Okay. So if we back again to the investment, if you invest 250 euros in a month, to compare it with just saving on a bank account, I just took 2% of increasing. After 10 years, we would have 64,000 euros of value. Okay. So if we talk about gold, if we talk about investments, I think it's the most important. The most important question is if you have a specific number in a month. This is like a number. How much you could save. Let's say you have 500 euros. It's always important. This is what we always do in individual consultation. To split those 500 euros. Yeah? I mean, if you ask me, I'm a big fan of touchable assets. I can tell you I don't invest in any shares, but this is my own, like my personal opinion. I only invest in real estates and gold. Yeah? I'm touchable assets, touchable products are the best products because this is something nobody can take away from you. Yeah, this is something you own. It's not just on the paper. It's not just a promise on the paper, but you can do with this product whatever you would like to do. So I would always, the perfect strategy is always to do like in a financial airbag. I always say it's a financial airbag because if something happens to you, it's always important to have some euros in a bank account, and also to invest in midterm investments. When I talk about midterm invest, or like not long term, but let's say 5 to 10 years, I would always invest in shares or in gold.
Yeah, ETFs.
And ETFs. Like shares, stock markets, for me, it's the same.
It's not
shares, stock market. As I said, I don't invest in the stock market, but I invest in gold and for sure in real estate. Real estate means as much as possible, as soon as possible, as early as possible. So we will see, and I did a few calculations. I want to show you what's about real estate and also comparing real estate with gold. Yeah? First of all, why should we invest in real estate? We have a lot of benefits. Actually, there's a very simple answer why we should invest in real estate. If we think about what happened with the population in on the whole world, and back then 2000 we had 6 billion people living on this earth. Right now we have 8 billion. What happens in the future, we don't know, but I think, or I know, this is what my opinion is, and we will have more and more people on this earth. So why should we not invest in places? And places means property, apartments, units. Especially when we talk about Germany, maybe someone of you heard. This would also be a question. Maybe Alicia, you can answer me the question. Do you know how many apartments do we need right now? Right now, new apartments, not current apartments, new apartments right now in Germany.
Yeah, we think about it like real estate is like always accessible, but I think also real estate have this in common with gold, that it's like limited. I think just a lot. I would say, I think we talk about the number, but I'm not sure. It's like something crazy, like 900,000.
700,000 right now. 700,000 apartments, new apartments. I'm not talking about like apartments we already built in Germany, new apartments. Maybe you heard something about the government when they started to reign over Germany. 2 years ago, they promised 400,000. I guess 400,000 in 1 year. Yeah. It's not possible.
Not happening. It's not possible. Not happening. It's too much rules, and it's too much rules in Germany for like bauen. So you have like the rules in Germany and the state, and then you have like the investors who want to make this project happen, and this collapsed because there are so many rules in Germany of like how to build something, and everything delays and costs money. So like people like not get things done. So that's a little big thing in Germany. Baustopp, you know. Yeah, stop building.
Yeah, we have a lot of problems building buildings in Germany. That's for sure. And we don't only have the value. I mean, we are talking about the value increases. It's not only because we don't have enough apartments, but also because we have more and more people in Germany. Yeah, and also we have more and more students. We have more and more guest workers. We have refugees, and there's a statistic which says in the last 40 years, the value increased in the last 40 years on average by minimum 4%, minimum. Yeah. Right now the prices they didn't go up as usual, like 10, 15, 12%, 5%, 6%. But this is what I can tell you. As soon as like in the next months, in the next years, we will have a run again. So the price will go up for sure. And let's say the price don't go up, but you still own this apartment, you still get your rent, you still you can still use your building to live in or to rent it out. So not only the value increases, but also we have a tax return. I think a lot of you, or maybe somebody of you heard about a tax return. Why do we get a tax return? This is what the law in Germany says. If you give people place to live in, you can get a tax return, or it's tax deductible. And also with real estates, we have a high safety or security. So what I did, or what I would like to do is just to do a small calculation with real estates for investment. If we talk about real estates for investment, assume we have an 80 square meter apartment, yeah, and it's in a good location, and let's say we have 800 euros of rental income. Yeah, around about 10 euros for 1 square meter. It's yeah, it's realistic if it's in a good location, or maybe not downtown Munich, not downtown in Stuttgart, but maybe 20 or 15 minutes away from downtown, 800 euros in a month. On the right side, so we have expenses. Let's say we have a bank rate which is 1,200 euros. Yeah? Interest charge and also the repayment. And also, we as an owner, we always have to invest, or we always have to pay maintenance savings to the management. So not only the maintenance savings, but also the management costs. Let's say it's for this size around about 100 euros. So at the end, if we would calculate like what's the income, what's the expense, we have 800 euros on this side, on 1,300 euros on the right side, we have a minus of 500 euros. So you should, like, you would invest in this case with these numbers 500 euros from your own pocket. The good thing is, and because we live in Germany and because we have a tax benefit, like with this tax benefit, we can say it's a tax return around about 200 to 250 euros per month. Yeah, this is what I mean. Nobody does a tax calculation or tax declaration every month, but at the end of the year. So around about 250 euros in a month. This would mean your total investment would be 250 euros. Yeah. Why do I take those numbers? Because I took it before, 250 with gold, 250 in a real estate. So let's see, comparing with gold, how much does a real estate do and how much does gold do? I mean, both products are very, very good. With gold, it's liquid. Yeah, it's you can sell it tomorrow. A real estate you cannot sell tomorrow, and you don't get money after tomorrow. That's not possible. But let's see with the real estate, and let's say we have 2% of increasing every year. What do you think after how many years you would pay back this real estate? Roundabout 300, let's say 300K. This is the price of the real estate. And what do you think in how many years? 20? Mm-hmm. 20 years. It always depends on how much or how high is the repayment you do. Okay, when we talk about investments, investment real estates, I would take the lowest one because inflation works for you and also the rent. But if you don't increase the repayment, and let's say you have 1.5, 1.7, or maybe 2% of repayment in 1 year, it's around about in 30 years paid back. Yeah? This is how long you need for a real estate. But the best or the most important question is, how much would be the value in 30 years? So if we calculate with only 2%, the new value would be 2% every year, 540,000. I mean, it's a big number, 540,000. If we talk about the last 40 years, we had 4% every year. So let's take only 2%, like half of it would be 540,000. So if you would invest 250 euros in a month, times 12 months, times 30 years, 12 months, would be 250 times 12 times 300 times 30, 250 times 12, 30, would be 90,000 euros. This would be your investment. But the funny thing is about this whole calculation, and that's why I'm the biggest fan of real estate. That's why I mean, yeah, we sit in a real estate, we live in a real estate. It's the best product. Yeah? You have the biggest or the highest profit with the real estate. So the most important question is, once about this investment, the 250 euros, we have one option during those 30 years. I mean, we can talk about the rent. Everybody knows it. And I always say it during consultations. I never got this letter from my landlord, which says, listen, Sam, you're such a nice guy, and you have to pay from next month on 50 euros less than today. So I never got, actually, I got a letter where it says, listen, price went up, please pay next month or next year 10% more than today. So this number here, the 800 euros, will increase for sure. If you don't increase the rent, then it's your fault. But we can say for sure, these 250 euros will not stay 30 years in a row. For sure not. And I can prove it to you. I mean, I have a few real estates, and I can show it to you. This decreases all the time because you can increase the rent all the time. But assume you don't increase the rent, and the monthly expenses are the same in the next 30 years. You invest 90,000 in this real estate during the next 30 years. But the good thing is, after 30 years, the value of this, let's say you would sell this real estate and you will not get 540, but let's say 400,000. You still got a profit of 310,000. But the good thing is you don't have to sell it. You get every month, and after 30 years, you also get every month the rent. 800 euros today, in 30 years, maybe 1,000, 1,200 euros. It's realistic. If we compare it with gold, and as I said, I'm a big fan of gold. It's one of the best products besides real estate. Yeah? But if we compare it with gold, also 250 euros times 12 months times 30 years. The good thing is, very important thing, if you invest in gold, you don't have to pay taxes for the profit if you hold it minimum 1 year. So let's say you invest in gold, 250 euros, and we take the same numbers like with the real estate, only 2%. After 30 years, you would have a value of 123,000. So as Alicia said, use always gold as a midterm, like the middle way between short-term investments and long-term investments, but to take the safety and the security to invest in the Champions League, in the real estate. Yeah, so our clients, or most of the clients, they, especially when we talk about students, blue card holder, which maybe they don't get a loan from the bank because of their residential yeah, because of the visa
yeah.
or whatever. Invest in gold. That's an option to build up a portfolio to show the bank, listen, I invested in gold. Now, do you want me to sell it or not? Most of the banks, they say, listen, you don't have to sell it, but you can prove it to us, and then we give you a better interest charge. We give you much more loan, and also, and what I always say when we talk about investments, I always say, listen, let's say you have a problem with your real estate. If it's in real estate for investment or in a real estate like an own home, in the worst case, sell your gold and take it to repair anything, to do a renovation or whatever. Okay.
An important thing also, like many people or many clients have gold also, for example, in India or gold plan. This you can't use. This is very important that when we talk about financial products, overall, they are beneficial in India, but you cannot apply it to Germany. That's a thing, you know, because many people want to like do certain plans outside of Germany. What makes sense is the returns we're in Europe, we're in a developed country, and the returns are stable, you know, pretty common. But you have to open a plan in Germany, a gold plan, or buy it in Germany when talking about it to the German banks. That's important. There's sometimes misunderstandings.
That's correct. Yeah. There's a question, is it possible to sell real estate between the 30 years if I want to get out of this investment? For sure. You have to know if you own the real estate and you sell it and you give it for rent. Yeah, it's real estate for investment. After the 10th year, it's a very, very important information. After the 10th year, if you sell it and assume you do, we have a price of, let's say, 350,000, and the loan is at 270,000. Those 80,000 euros, but after 10 years, those 80,000 euros are tax-free. If you sell gold, after 1 year, it's tax-free. If you sell a real estate which you give for rent, it's after 10 years tax-free. Okay, but you can always, it's your apartment, it's your real estate. You can always sell it. Yeah, it's up to you. But as we said before, a real estate, you cannot sell it today and you get the money tomorrow. It takes a little bit of time. That's the, yeah, not disadvantage. I say it's a big advantage because a share, you sell it easily. But gold or real estate, you think 10 times more about it to sell a real estate or gold if you have a bad time or whatever. How easy is it to move gold across countries? Maybe I think to consider for expats. That's, I think, individual from country to country. What I know, it's easy. This is what I know. Yeah, I have a very, very, yeah, let's say, good friend. He lives in Dubai. He took a few kilograms to Dubai. This is what I know. Yeah, and I have clients. They came from India with gold, especially about India. Very important to know. A lot of Indians they invest in India, and because the mutual funds and whatever. Yeah, you have very high ROI. Very nice. I mean, that's crazy how much you do. 10, 15, 20%. But if you think about to stay here in Germany, what do you do with the money in India? Now, if you want to get back the money, you have to pay 20% of tax. That's about the Indian government. They decided this. Imagine you would invest there in gold. Yeah, I'm not talking about jewelry gold, but in investment gold. You could bring it to Germany. So about from country to country, I think this is what you should check with the, how do you say? Yeah. Botschaft, Konsulat. I think this is what the information is what you get from them. But I know, I don't know if it's individual from country to country. This is what I don't know. Very, very interesting picture I have for you. There's an, I mean, gold is not only about flexible and you're doing yeah, profit with gold, but also in the highest, I mean, everybody hears it, but maybe not everybody gets it really. But most in all the crises we had, the gold price always went up. Even if we had a world war, those people which owned gold, they had a profit or they could sell it later. Okay. Compared to all the other investments. There are a few questions. The apartments that you're offering, how do we know how good the location is and how to choose a good location? Are there any suggestions that you offer? It's a very good question. To explain this, I need another 60 minutes. Good location. I mean, you can always go on your own trip and check the location and check everything with the apartment, with the location. We always have micro macro lage. This means what's in the city, what's around this specific apartment or whatever. You can always check, okay, what's around, what's about the economy, about the apartments, what's about companies. Then you can always check statistic. But this is what we always do in individual consultation. I explain this very in detail. Yeah, and what are the risks and what should we talk about? Like what's about the building? And this is what we do for our clients. This is what we check for our clients. And I mean, we're talking about locations in Germany. I can tell you we don't sell apartments, for example, in east of Germany. Yeah, there are some good locations for sure, but I can tell you I sell real estates with which I would invest too. Yeah, I'm selling those real estates I would invest, and yeah, and this is what, as I said, this is what we always check together. Good.
Yeah, it's like
I think now it's time to ask some questions.
Yeah.
Does anybody have a question?
Yeah, I think real estate and gold both are very like specific. And if someone like is interested in gold or real estate, it's super important to have like a personal consultation for both assets. That's super important. What are the platforms we can buy gold? I do, without making any promotion, I did this brokerage deal with Golden Gates. Yes, you could like do it straight away or with a broker. It doesn't cost you more or less. Doing it with someone that helps, guides you, you just have a little bit more help, and we do the communication with the dealership. I do like Golden Gates. It's like a family business, and I started working with them because like other brokers like recommended it to me. Like they're reliable, the information is good, it's fast, they keep the gold for the clients, but there are like many, but it's important that they are certified and you have a very good look into them. So, you know, like the gold is coded and you get like a certificate also for the banks. So this is very important that those companies already think ahead for what you might need the gold or which documentation you might need to sell it or to keep it, to show it to the bank. This should be helpful. Like
that's correct. I mean, there are a lot of platforms. There are a lot of platforms, and Yeah, we always recommend those platforms we work with because they are trusted. Like I know a friend, he said like, listen, Samuel, I get a better price on another platform. It's okay, yeah, but I can tell you about him. He lost 3,000 euros because he never received the gold. Yeah, I think there are some fakes in the internet too, but when you are a specific your part, when you are interested, let's do a meeting, a Zoom meeting. I always explain this very in detail, especially we check, okay, what's the amount of money you could invest in gold, and I give you some information about the strategy, about the plan, and also what are the options, and also how much is the fee about storage and whatever. This is what we can do together. Yeah, that's
And the
easy.
price is pretty like open. You can find it on the webpage. You can find it online. The gold prices, it fluctuates day by day. So tomorrow maybe you have
Yes.
another price that you do have today. So this is pretty like transparent. And there was like a good question, Adrian, silver. I'm interested too. Do you have like an answer for
Gold
that?
always recommended over other products, for example, silver. First of all, you have to pay tax for silver. I
Mm.
guess. I guess before I say this for 100%, I guess. I mean, silver is also a good investment, but the price goes up and down very crazy with silver. Yeah? Um, this is what we can talk about also. I mean, our not broker, about our platform, they don't only sell, or they don't offer only gold, but also silver and other materials like Technologiemetalle. How do you say this? Technological
Metals.
products, metals.
From Debayan, if a tenant needs to move out of my invested apartment, do you help in finding a new tenant, or is it my responsibility?
Actually, no, you don't. It's not your responsibility. We do not only just selling, but after sale is very, very important for us because, I mean, I always say, listen, if we start this journey together, I always want to marry with my client for at least 10 years because I want to work together. Yeah, I want to build up a portfolio with you in your name, and I help you not only to buy one apartment, but also the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth apartment. And this is what we do. Like we build up some strategies together. So in case the tenant moves out, then the question is, do you do this with management like we do, or do you buy it somewhere else by your own? And I can tell you about our concept. We always check out because this is what I can tell you. We always sell in very good locations where we are pretty sure in case the tenant moves out, we can furniture this apartment and rent it out for students, guest workers. It's like service apartments or Airbnb, something like that. Yeah, but this is what I can explain very good in detail. And but this is what we offer to our clients to check the new tenant, to set up the rental contract. This is what we do. Not me, but our employees, no? Our management. We need to get on a call. Sure. Any other questions?
If you have questions afterwards, like I will shoot you all a message asking how you like it, as always. And if you have more questions, yeah, we have like to offer always a first consultation, a get to know meeting, and to see, does it make sense? Yes, no. Does it fit to you? No.
Yeah, maybe a little bit about our journey together. Yeah, it's very important to know. Not every client can buy real estate. Every client can buy gold. It's from actually it's the lowest investment you can do is 25 euros in a month, for example. Yeah, but not a lot of people they are allowed to get a loan from the bank, because at the end the bank is always the person or the party which says yes or no. It always depends on the bank. So we always check first. I give you some information about how do we work and what are the benefits with work, like to work with us together. And then we start a journey. We check your individual situation. We check with the bank. Okay, how much do you get from the bank? With the PR, with the blue card, especially when we talk about blue cards, not a lot of people know that it's possible to get a loan with the blue card. It might be a little bit, it might take a little bit longer. Maybe we need a few more documents from you, but we did a few, like we sold to a very few clients with the blue card. So then afterwards, we check this with the bank, and afterwards, we check, okay, which is the best apartment for you? The size, we go through all the numbers, we talk about tax return, we talk about what's the perspective about this apartment, what's about the value, will it increase or not increase, and everything. And after this, you do a reservation, and then we go the step with the bank. We check in detail the numbers from the bank. Then we get the yes from the bank. And because at the end, you have to know, a bank always checks the value of the real estate, always the value of you. How much do you get? How is, like, connected to this real estate? Is it possible to get a loan? Then we go together and see the apartment together, and we go together to sign at the notary. Very important. Your name should be written down in the registration, not mine. Okay, it's not possible, but very important. Very important. So this apartment belongs to you. And then it starts with after sale. You get a lot of documents. You get a lot of documents from the management, from the lawyer, from the banks, and this is what I guide you through the process from A to Z, from the beginning to the end. So this is what I do. I explain this everything in English. I explain the purchasing contract. I explain all the letters, and I help you afterwards with getting a tenant. And yeah, this is our service. This is what we offer to our clients. And very, very interesting point. And we don't take a commission from a client. You have to know, in Germany, a real estate agent is allowed to take a commission from the client and from the seller, like from the owner. But we don't take it from the buyer, from the client, but we just take it from the owner. This is allowed just to take one part. So you also save those 3 or 4% of commission which you would pay out there to a real estate agent, in case the real estate agent offers this to you.
Perfect.
Good.
Thank you so much. Yes, of course. Yeah, Debayan. I will do it. Thank you so much, Debayan. Thank you for being there. We like to do. Hey. How are
Thank
you?
you for your time, and I mean, it's not.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's also your time, so you've been also on the call. So thank you for your time. We really appreciate that.